Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatye Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Sankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Lokashankaram. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Sri Tapovana Sishyaya Namaha. Hari Om. Let us first chant the Shantipatha of Taittiriya Upanishads, Sikshavalli. Sikshavalli it is called actually. Om Shanno Mitrashyam Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatumam Avatuvaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have completed 7 Anuvakas of the Sikshavalli. Last week I chanted the 8th Anuvaka and just first 2 parts I explained. But I will quickly chant, you don't have to show, I just chant again, then I will explain. Omiti Brahma, Omiti Idagum Sarvam, Omityedadanu Danukruti Hasma, Va Apyoch Sravayet Sravayanti, Omiti Samani Gayanti, Ogum Shomiti Sastrani Sagumshanti, Omityatharvyu Pratigaram Pratigunati, Omiti Brahma Prasauti, Omityagnihotra Manujanati, Omiti Brahmana Pravakshannaha Brahmopaapnavaniti Brahmaivopaapnoti. This is the Pranavopasana section of this Upanishad. You see Vyahruti Upasana we have seen earlier. Then we have a Pankta Upasana. So this is Pranava Upasana. As you know, Pranava means Onkara. Surely the meaning of it is that which takes you easily to Brahman, Parabrahman. Prakarshena Naiti iti. So, but Pranavopasana has various aspects of it, depending upon who is doing the Upasana and what is the aim of the person. So it could be for Apara or Para. Apara means Saguna Upasaka, means Ishvara Upasana. Then Para means Nitidhyasana. Nitidhyasana means you drop your various aspects of your personality and remain in pure self. That's a Nitidhyasana. So there's slight difference. One is seeing yourself as a part of the total. Okay, like Anga and Angi. Other one is merging them together as one. The example I gave earlier is like a wave, ocean, and water. When the wave considers itself to be a part, it becomes a part of the ocean. So there is a difference in the identity. Where when it considers itself as the water, all the identities are also dissolved. Because water itself is called ocean and water itself is called wave. So identity is only when there is only one, the question of identity is unnecessary. This is important. Advaita, that is why the name Advaita comes. It is redundant. Once the Advaita concept is appreciated, Dvaita is redundant. Because only one is there, then there's no question of second one. So when you say only water, then everything that is made of water is unnecessary. even to say, because everything dissolves in water. That is the reason. So this mantra Pranavopasana starts with Om iti Brahma. So again, as I said, this is Brahma here refers to Apara, Ishvara Upasana. So Ishvara, last week I explained, is basically when you say Saguna Brahma, Upasakanam Hitardhaya Brahmano Rupa Kalpana. Definition of Upasana. We talked about it in the past. The all-pervading, infinite, essential being has no name and form, but for the benefit of us to uplift ourselves to a state of where only two are there, for our benefit, Rupa Kalpana is made. Okay. Now, with this background, Om stands for, Om is made of, I explained last week, I will just quickly summarize. A, U, M. A plus U becomes, A plus U becomes O. This is Gunasandhi, according to Sanskrit. So then remains. Om, that's where it comes. But for the explanation purpose, you go back and A, U, M. A stands for Sthula world, or waking world, or Virat. So Ishvara, if you use the word Ishvara, then it covers all the three depending upon the context. So Virat is also an aspect of Ishvara in the Sthula aspect. Sthula Sarira, we call it. So when you are awake, you differentiate yourself as a matter, Sthula, this and that. That is called Sthula Sarira. Then Sukshma Sarira is made of ungrassified elements. That is our Antakarana, Manaha, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, and senses also. They have capacity to manifest themselves without the help of the Sthula Sarira, like in a dream. They're ungrassified. Before elements are grassified to make before the electrons and protons and neutrons combined to make the elements and compounds. So Sukshma Sarira is Panchamahabhutas, it's called. Tanmatras, it's called. They are ungrassified states. So ungrassified state of the Sukshma elements is the subtle matter, which is mind, intellect, etc. Which is senses also, prana also actually. So in dream, you see, they have all the aspects of waking world, but in ungrassified form within yourself by yourself. You are the creator, it's yourself. So the Hiranyagarbha it is called. In the cosmic level, it's called Hiranyagarbha. Then that is U. Represents Karana Sarira. Represents Karana Sarira. Karana Sarira means causal body, where only our vasanas and samskaras are present in unmanifested state, avyakta state, like sleep and samadhi. So what is that? What it means is we have when we are in the dream state, you got two aspects. Karana Sarira is there, and also Sukshma Sarira is there. When you are waking state, you have Karana Sarira, Sukshma Sarira, and also Sthula Sarira. But then, but many of us don't forget, all of them have a substratum called Atman or Brahman, called Shiva, Mother, whatever you call it. In that substratum, they all manifest and they are operate. So Virat is not independent of Bhagavan as the substratum, but our drushti is only on the Sthula Sarira. Same way, during the dreams or when you are thinking, when you are reflecting, our drushti is only on the subtle aspects of you. That is called, cosmic aspect is called Hiranyagarbha. But Hiranyagarbha also is playing in the presence of Karana Sarira, which is called Ishvara. Cosmic level is called Ishvara, God. But Ishvara is also a word used for all Upasakas. All Saguna Brahma is also called Ishvara. It has the causal body, causal aspects of the universal karmic databases in it, with that. So that is the Om iti Brahma. Now, key point here is when it includes gross, subtle, and also causal. So language that we use is inadequate. All are unmanifested are also in it, Omkara. That is the point I want to make. Last week I didn't get a chance to make. Basically, that. It includes all possible language, all possible words, all possible emotions that can be verbalized or cannot be verbalized. In Omkara, that's the greatness of it. So I mentioned last week, Om, A, U, all the words, possible literature, all the words, all the sounds are in it. A starts here, U starts from here to here, starts at end. All possible words combinations are in there. So Om is AUM, all letters, then all words, and all objects. Words have no meaning if they don't indicate something. Vagardha Sampurta, Vagardha Pradipate. Vak and Ardha go together. That is why Omkara includes all the subjective and objective fields of experiences, manifest and unmanifest. So, Omkara is the ultimate summary of Sakara, Saguna Brahma, and Nirguna Brahma also, but in this context, Saguna Brahma, Apara Brahma. Then, Omitidagam Sarvam. As it all the words indicates objects as well as emotions, manifest and unmanifest. So that word sarvam has to be understood in that language. Don't say sarvam, then they say this room, everything in this room is. No. This plus what you dream, what you unmanifest, everything is Om. That's why sarvam is so crucial to properly understand. Omit etad anukruti hasmava. Here, now they are going into the pervasiveness of Omkara. What is it? I mentioned earlier, Upasana and Upasaka. Upasya and Upasaka. Upasaka is the one who is visualizing the oneness with the Upasya. So the Upasya means that which is full, is all pervasive. It is in the language of those people, they are trying to explain it. For us, unfortunately, because we are lost touch with the Vedic system of karma kanda, all those things. For us, it is a little bit alien. But those days, students are doing yajnas, helping the Brahma and they also. So there used to be 4 types of priests. Rigveda, they're called Hota. Each one of them, let's say 4 types of priests, one for Rigveda, one for Samaveda, one for Yajur Veda, and one for Adhava Veda. And each one of them are 4, 4, 4, 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then Yajamani and his wife, total 18. In the executive group. Now the executive, after the 4 in the Rigveda, there is one boss and 3 in the group. So Hota, the one who is the boss, is called Hota. The 3 that help him in Rigveda is called Hotru Gana. Like that, Samaveda, it has 4. The one who is the boss is called Udghota, and then Udghotru Gana, the group. And then Yajurveda Adhvaryu, and his group is called Adhvarya Gana. Adhvaryu Gana. 444. Now, so all these 18, then the Atharva Veda, priest is called Brahma. He's the boss of the bosses. He's the one who gives instructions. He has to know all the 4 Vedas. He also should know what has to be done in what order. Sauta Karma is called. Kalpa. And he also should know if there is a mistake, what prayaschitta has to be done. So he's called Brahma. Brahma Gana, he has 3 work helpers helping him. So now this is Om iti anukruti hasmava. Om is used as a symbol of acceptance in yoga, in yajnas. So, Om is all pervasive. Om is equivalent to, so for example, Om iti anukruti. Anukruti means acceptance. So the Rigvedi priest, Hota, will tell you, hey, Agnidra, go ahead and light the Agnihotra and then invoke the Devatas, Agni. The Hotragana will do it. How does he say? He says Om. That's it. Then the fellows who know their duty, Anukruti, they accept it. They won't use the language other than saying Om. Hasmava api. So this is very famous. They're all just ha, sma, va. That indicates, you know, Om is the transactional okay. This is very famous. This is how Vedic language. Shravayet ashravayanti. This is Shravayet. When you say Shravayet, then ashravayanti. They chant. Then in this 4 also separate roles also. Rigvedis, they chant invocatory mantras, Agnihotram and all that. And then they also praise. Whereas the Yajurveda mantras are chanted for oblations. And Samaveda for charity, for Dhanam and all that. This is how the organization is done. So these are Rigveda. So Om Shom iti Shastrani Shanti. Next one. Om iti Samani Gayanti. Om, again he says, Samani Gayanti. Samavedi Udgatru Gana will chant Samaveda. Om Shom iti Shastrani Sam Shanti. Shagum Shanti and Sam Shanti the same. Before Sa, Gakara comes, then the Anuswara in Rigveda, in Yajurveda. So Om Shom iti Om Shom is the direction to the Rigvedis to chant Shastrani. Shastrani means there are some meters without the intonation in Rigveda for this particular purpose. They use them without intonation for the particular. It's called Om Shom. They say Om Shom, then they will understand they're called Shastrani, they chant those. Om it atharvihu pratigaram pratigunati. Then Om iti atharvihu. Atharvihu means Yajurveda chief. He gives pratigaram. He gives the permission to his group to chant. Then the pratigunati, the assistants will take it up and then start the process. So Om is the only letter uttered. And then everything follows as per the Vedic rituals. Omiti Brahma Prasauti. Prasauti means Adharva, Adharvana Veda priest Prasauti means commands. Now you perform the various activities as to be assigned by Adharva Veda. Now, unfortunately, there are not many Atharva Veda scholars. Atharva Veda um, Vedic Pandits. Not only that, those who know a little bit of Atharva Veda do not know other Vedas. So nowadays, what they do is on Atharva Veda seat, they put some darbhas and then pretend there is a person sitting there and do the invocation out of respect. And then they proceed. Just like in some of the Shraddha ceremonies, Bhagavan is sitting in this, and then they do just the invocation, and then the Avahana, and that's it. And then at the end of the Karikrama, they send it back. That is how Adharva is handled these days, but the procedure still remains. Okay. Omiti Brahma Prasautat. OmityagniHotram Anujanati. Now, so far, the yajna is being discussed. So, all these are for Gruhastas. Okay, Gruhastas are the ones who do the yajnas. Okay, he has a wife, and then he has economic resources. All these things, is meant for the Gruhastas. So, same Gruhastas, whenever they do Agnihotra in daily, because you are also supposed to Agnihotra karma at home. So, they also do Omiti Agnihotram Anujanati. They also do the Agnihotram. When they chant Agnihotram and then it's the permission, then they ignite the Agnihotram. That's a signal for Agnihotra. Now, up to this is now Omiti Brahmanaha Pravakshan Aha Brahmopa Apnuvaniti. The students, Brahmanaha, the students, they start when they chant Vedic chanting, Harihi Om, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om, that's what they chant. But it starts with Om. Omiti Brahmanaha Pravakshan Naha. Brahmana means students, brahmacharis. Brahmopa Pruvaniti, they learn Vedas. They chant Omkara first, then they start chanting. Adhyayana it is called. Adhyayana means learning how to chant. Then Brahmaivopa apnoti. Then they get the knowledge of Vedas. Brahma also stands for Vedas. Brahmana also. Brahma also stands for Yajnas. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagno. Brahma stands for all pervading oneness. Mainly that is the way. So all depending upon the context. Brahmaiva upa apnoti, they attain the knowledge. So one more thing here, the students are taught not only their particular field of Veda, like Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Adharveda, they're also taught, in the next section will come, certain ability to interpret it, how to use it properly in yajnas. And everybody learns, depending upon their profession, the related skills. Like a Kshatriya, he will learn war field, whereas a Brahmana will learn a Srauta karma, Kalpa it's called, like that. So Upavedas are also there, like Jyotisha, like that. So they learn related fields also. Then everybody learns Dharma Shastra, how to live, what is the purpose, how Dharma is important, all these things. Next Anuvaka will go into that. So this is how the things are organized. So this covers brahmacharis, Omkara pervades in their activities. main activities. And then Grihasthas, Omkara pervades in their main activities. And as a group activities, Agnihotra is individual activity, whereas Yajna is a group activity, in a group activity. So Sannyasa Ashrama is not mentioned here, but in Sannyasa Ashrama, Omkara is exclusively chanted. So Grihasthas don't chant Omkara exclusively for meditation purpose. We chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayana. Because Omkara, when it's chanted exclusively, they are supposed to chant with deeply chanting it with until as deeply as you can without taking breath. And then you meditate. Sannyasis are supposed to do that. So some Mahatmas say, if you do that, you develop vairagya, dispassion. That is why we are recommended only to do with some mixed nama, upasaka. So that's why Om Namah Shivaya, Om Srimatre Namaha. That's how it is told to us. Okay. So I want to read the Shankara Bhashya for the ninth Anuvaka, which is a very, very famous Anuvaka. The Upasana is already done now. Before I start the ninth Anuvaka, I will read the introductory Bhashya of Bhagavan on the ninth Anuvaka. Very small, so I will read it, then we will chant it. Vijnanat eva apnoti swarajyam iti uktatvat srauta smarta karmanam Srauta smartanam karmanam anardhakyam praptam iti ataha tat ma prapat iti karmanam purushardham prati sadhanatva pradarsanardham iha upanyasaha. Earlier Anuvaka has said, by chanting, by upasana, you get swarajyam. You get control over the senses. You become like Akasha. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya is saying next mantra is telling you that is not the end. That will definitely purify you, but the end is not that. So don't say upasana is the ultimate. Because this is what he said. Vijnanat eva apnoti swarajyam iti uktatvat srauta smarta karmanam anardhakyam praptam iti. So people might say upasana is the ultimate. What is the need to do all this purusha yajna, deva pitru rushi yajnas, manusha yajna, aditi yajna, all these things? I don't need to do that. They are srauta smarta karmas. They are anardhakyam. They have no value. Upasana is the ultimate because I get everything. Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, no. That's not correct. Srauta smarta karma has to be continued. Iti karmanam purushardham prati. Iti karmanam purushardham prati. Sadhanatva pada. Purushartha means moksha. In order to achieve ultimate purushartha, ardhakamas is something, dharma and moksha are the other thing. You might get name and fame, you might some purity. But for moksha purushartham, you need ultimately you have to continue doing daily nitya naimittika karmas. All this important. And also you have to do swadhyaya, and also you have to do teaching of it. So this Anuvaka is very, very famous because it tells you values of life. If you don't have values, nothing works. So that is why I will mantra number 9 we will chant. Okay. Anuvaka number 9. Yes. It's called Swadhyaya Prashansha. Glorification of Swadhyaya, study. But there's some amazing mantra this one. I will read it first and then we'll go into the explanation. ऋतञ्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यञ्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च तपश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च दमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च शमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्नेश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्निहोत्रञ्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अतिथयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च मानुषञ्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजा च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजनश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजातिश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यमिति सत्यवचाराधीतरः तप इति तपो नित्यः पौरुशिष्टः पौरुशिष्टिः तप इति तपो नित्यः पौरुशिष्टिः स्वाध्याय प्रवचने एवेति नाको मौद्गल्यः तद्धि तपः. Very good. So the extremely important, see, Upasana section is done. But before I go into this, I want to emphasize Gayatri Japa is Upasana. Om Namah Shivaya mantra, any mantra is Upasana. So and if you do puja, that is Upasana. The Kaika, normally Upasana means Manasika, part and whole. But to support it, you do puja, and then you also chant the name of 108 names. Then you invoke mental aspect of it. Then meditate. Then relationship between part and whole. So if you take the help of the body for puja, that is fine. But then meditation is important. Mantra chanting. So Kaika, Vachika, and Manas. Manas is called meditation or Upasana, whereas others are supports. In the Vachika, between Nama, you can do Upasana. Okay, so in the context of the Upanishad, all the upasanas are mentioned as Vyahurti Upasana or as Omkara Upasana, and then they made a point like all the elements in the all the how the Hotri and how the Hotra and also Hota and Adhvarya, all these people coordinate saying Om 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 to just highlight the value of the Om. But for us, Vishnu Sahasranama, adaptive Vishnu Sahasranama, that is the modern way of doing Upasana. So don't think we are not doing Upasana if you do daily puja. I do same thing. In fact, people suggest you should do at least one Anuvaka every day, if possible. One Anuvaka of Taittiriya Upanishad, mainly Sikshavalli, Brahmandavalli, and Bhruguvalli, one of them. And then also do the Abhishekam, chant Vishnu Sahasranama, one Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita. This is what people suggest. That's Kaika and Manasika too. As you don't underestimate the value of chanting, because as you chant, and meaning will start, because we all have Indian language background. So some of the roots are common. Slowly, they start speaking to you. Mind becomes purified. Then your vibrations will purify and opportunities will come to learn the meaning of it. Very correct. Yeah. Now, here, this is called now Anuvaka number 9. So because we change the subject now, so I just wanted once again top of the importance of Upasana, then we move on. Rutancha Swadhyaya Pravachane. Rutam means, Rutam means, I have mentioned this before, but the correct definition I am looking because I don't want to make a mistake. Rutam is Shankaracharya defines Rutam as knowledge regarding life in alignment with teachings of the Shastra. In other words, you read the Shastras, Dharma Shastra, etc., then you understand its essence mentally, digest it mentally. Why? Most of the knowledge we gather, this is a very important point. Most of the knowledge we gather is by pratyaksha pramana, by senses perception. And then anumana pramana means by inference, but not shabda pramana. Shabda pramana means Shastra and Upanishads. Shastra Pramana is apaurushaya knowledge. It's absolute knowledge. Paurushaya knowledge means that which came through the individual human beings. So because of the Pratyaksha Pramana and the Anumana Pramana only revel in the objective world. Extroverted mind and the extroverted senses. Kathopanishad Visadhan. So we become preoccupied with mental vibrations filled with entertainment, enjoyment, and planning according to it. Whole life. 80 years still. our life story is always talking about our past, which is sense based, objective, luxuries based. And then we also still think at the years of 8 years, we still think our background is always thinking in the same words. Because apaurushaya pramana is not introduced to us. Or we don't have value for it. That's why most of our life, even at the old age, is going in ardha and kama. We only talk about how much more money, properties and name and fame and kama. Because with pratyaksha, what is available for the eyes, that's what we. But in the previous Gurukula, they used to teach Dharma Shastra at young age, and then they will give you instructions how to see your life. This Anuvaka is about that. So it also it tells you to value dharma and moksha. It also tells you how to gracefully age. Instructions are given for that purpose. Okay, so now I will go with this. Utancha Swadhyaya Pravachane. Gather information about the apaurushaya knowledge and also dharma, and have that clarity in your mind. What is right, what is wrong, what is the purpose of life, what is the limitations of the world. This is called Rutam. But the important thing, very fascinating thing about this is the whole, it's titled called Swadhyaya Prashansha, it is titled. So everywhere Rutam cha, first Rutam, then say Swadhyaya Pravachane cha. It also says, do Swadhyaya every day. Pravachanecha, whatever little you learn, you share it, attend study groups, learn from Mahatmas, and then take their guidance in how to teach. Our Acharya who taught us in the Vedanta course, he is now in Kailash Ashrama. He's only about 50 plus now. He has decided, he had done a lot of seva in Chinmaya Mission. Tremendous. He left, at the very young age, he joined Chinmaya Mission. And now he has started for about 25 years. Plus, now he's decided to renounce and then stay in Kailash Ashram. So whenever he writes to me, are you teaching? He writes to me. Are you? And we had arranged some of his talks before he was our Acharya in the Vedanta course. So he used to stay in our house. 3-4 times he stayed. I knew him before he even joined Sandipani. When he was 25, I knew him. So he used to morning is 6:30 to 7 to 8 o'clock. We used to have a morning Upanishad class. I'm talking about Beaumont, Texas, where we were living. He would wake up by 4 o'clock, 4:30, and then Upasana, Upanishad. Then some puja he will do. And when he comes down, around him there is an air of perfect silence. He was very fair, like gold, and also extremely blissful. When I drive him at 5:36, and sometimes the class start at 6, I think, 6:30, I think. He would not say anything. He would be quietly in unbelievable, perfect sense of silence. Driving him itself was a joy. Your mind stops. Same thing with Swami Chinmaya. All the time, on Swami Chinmaya, always. Everybody sits next to me, mind stops right away. This is because pravachana, reveling in it. To teach, you have to prepare 1 hour class, 4 hours you have to prepare. Because you have bhashya and all this context, and then you have to put together, wrap up the various things. And then you have to feel that you have done justice to the teaching that your gurus have given to you. The responsibility. That is why the gurus themselves say, Rutamcha, have a truthful clarity in your mind, then Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. Do Swadhyaya and also do Pravachana. Commandment. Okay, next. Satyam cha Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. Again, Satyam. Satyam means whatever you have mentally gathered on Apaurushaya Jnana about Dharma and Moksha. Satya means implementing that in life. So live according to what you learned. Very good. Then Swadhyaya Pravachanacha. Don't neglect Swadhyaya and Pravachana. As I said, our Acharya, Swami Bodhatmananda, every morning at 4 o'clock, he would get up quietly. He would do his routines, and he would one Upanishad, then some meditation. For those who are attending this class, anything Vishnu Sahasranama or something, one chapter of Bhagavad Gita at a proper time when everything is quiet. Purusha Suktam or one Valli, Sikshavalli or Brahmanvalli or any other. That's our Acharya. He told me, he used to tell me what he does. Then I was so impressed. It's so important. Value of it. Next, tapascha swadhyaya pravachanacha. You do tapas. And also swadhyaya pravachanacha. Don't neglect daily study of Apaurushaya Jnana and teaching. Teaching everybody cannot do. Attend study groups. That's why Swami Mahatma, our Gurudev, started study groups. You prepare everybody one paragraph, and then somebody will synthesize and give you critical review. Now, tapaha is actually very important discussion. Very important points are there in tapaha. It's actually willful self-denial to gain mastery over senses and mind and intellect. Why? One more definition, kasta sahishnutam tapaha. Ability to bear changes. Love, sukha, dukkha, all these things. It passes through you. If you don't have that realization that I'm a witness, that developing that is also tapa. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, Upadesh Saraj. Ahamapetakam Nizavibhanakam Mahadam Tapo Ramanavagiyam. He says. Investigating what is the source of this ahankara is greatest tapas, Ramana. It itself dies. Ahamapetakam Nizavibhanakam. Aham apetakam Nizavibhanakam. Mahadidam Tapo Ramanavagiyam. Aham apetakam, that which eliminates, apeta means remove the cover. Then what happens? Aham goes side, Atma Swarupa with it. Nija Vibhanakam, that which shines forth the truth in your heart. Mahadidam Tapo, that's the greatest tapas. Before those, certain self-denial in the heart, in the light of the teaching of Atman, Atma Jnana. So our Acharya has said, an addict would not realize that he is addicted. Why? Because for him, Pratyaksha Pramana has become so habituated. He's always turning the TV on or cell phone on, and he doesn't even know he's addicted. Always the mind is rotating in same thing. One of the researchers said everybody has 60,000 thoughts per day. Unfortunate part of it is 99% of them are thought before. Repeating. That is addiction. Mind, you are sitting here, mind goes somewhere. This is addiction. Tapa is that control, self-denial in the light of a higher goal. So periodically, we should test our tapo. Our Swandipani Sadhanalaya training course, 2 years, by God's grace, we joined at the right age after retired. They took our cell phones away. And then once a week, we get internet access for half an hour to call your dear and then check your mail. And in the beginning, we used to think, how can we live? Funny thing was, there were no emails. People also forgot about us. And nobody missed us. So it makes it clear that we are actually clinging on to things. We create mess, and then we perpetuate it. None of my correspondence got affected. Nobody complained. So, but we have to once in a while test it. Mahashivaratri, I will not touch the phone today. I will just chant this and change him. A grahana for 3 hours continuously, and I will meditate. Then willpower increases. That is tapas. And there is one more point here. This has to be willful denial, not a suppression. Because if you have Shastra knowledge, Swadhyaya Pravachan, then it will become willful. Suppression won't work. It has to be a willful training. It's called training of senses, not suppression of the senses. It's a discipline, not suppression. The word discipline is important. So then there are several vratas are mentioned. Vratas means you take some vows. When you do those vows, you follow. You don't transgress. Like Maunam. One of the instructions that we have gotten is when we graduated, they told us reduce your social activities because the birthdays, anniversaries, receptions, marriages, and then there were several layers of people. Expectations all grow, and you will within 6 months you will forget everything. So number one, you stop unnecessary engagements that you can avoid. The close families you cannot avoid, and it makes a big difference because what you only talk about various things. You have nothing to do, but you only talk. That's okay, nothing wrong with it. But if you have a apaurusha jnana, vrutam as the goal of life, you have to see I have purpose in this life, dharma and moksha. Our Acharya used to say, I'm now 50 years old, I want to have moksha in this life. Very clear. He never married. He was university first in electronics and computer science, Bombay University. And he heard few talks of Swami Chinmaya Maharaj. He never met him also. He got immediately, and in our batch, so many people who are very highly spiritual evolved, youngsters. Natural, the vairagya comes to them natural. So we joined a couple of months late. One of the students, I asked him, he said, what else, Subraji? What else, uncle? He used to say, what the purpose of course, the Upadesha Sara, they finished. It's so clear. See, clarity here, don't mistake me. Clarity here means world cannot give you happiness. Ardha kamas cannot give you happiness. That is the clarity. They're purely mental and purely mentally sustained. And purely they drag you, more indulge, the more they drag you. The three defects I always been told in the past. They you get into a habit of doing the same thing, and it is very difficult sometimes to repeat. But you keep on doing it. Then it becomes addictive also. Then atrupti, you never get satisfied. You want something more next time, next dose. Senses are trained like that. Kathopanishad Visa. So the common vratas that some of them which people might do, one of the kruchram means fasting as prayashchitta. Mahatma Gandhi used to do it. And then controlling mouth, tongue. It has two. It is jnanendriya as well as the karmendriya. Talking the words creates a lot of potential problems, and also consuming for taste. So it's very dangerous. So vratams are, many of the vratams are centered around controlling the food. Because food reduces the energy of the prana, and then senses also become sober. Then you become slowly, the senses get trained. Again, don't think it is suppression, but disciplining, using the Shastra, how the Shastra has given. So then Chandrayanam is one technique. And of course, hardly is popular anymore, but basically what it does is, depending upon the size of the moon, you reduce the quantity of food you take. On Purnami day, you'd have a full meal. On Amavasya day, you fast completely. So you have 14 days, 13 days in between. Then you keep on reducing 1/15th every day. So by Saptami or so, we eat half. Ashtami, I think. half of a normal meal. Like that. So this is the another vratam. See, once you don't feed the senses, they become more reflective. But don't suppress them. You train them. So this is the importance of um, sense control. And so basically, let me go back to it, make sure I tapasya, swadhyaya pravachane, tapas we talked about. With intentional self-denial. Kasta sahishnutvam tapaha. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Agama payano tityaha tam didikshasva bharata. So then next one is Damascha swadhyaya pravachane. Damaha means sense control. Tapaha is sense total conditioning. Dama is specific to senses. So Dama is also very, very important because we get habituated by senses. World is presented to you through senses, and then you look forward to the world through senses. Then Dhamma feeds, your senses feed you to the mind. And then you create a concept of the world. And then you, accordingly, mind also gets conditioned. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, 6 of them. And they because all of them start with the senses. I like this, I don't like this. It's beautiful, I want it. And everything presented to you by senses, and correspondingly you condition yourself in the mind. Then mind becomes completely extroverted. So Dhamma is choosing intentionally what is right. Avoid what indulges you more and more. You might get a temporary kick, but you will get a slave. You will become a slave. So you, because of your swadhyaya pravachanecha is being repeated in every instruction, you have to have that apaurushaya knowledge and purpose of life. And strengthened rutam and satyam, tapa, then dhamma. This is not theory, it is life. It is the art of living, Swami Chinmaya would frequently say. One of the chapters in a book called Self-Unfoldment, the very first chapter is called Freedom. The Self-Unfoldment book I have read at least 15 times. And I done study groups 10 times at least. American edition, beautiful book. First chapter is called Freedom. Our Gurudev Swami Chinmaya says, what is freedom? He explains. He says, freedom is intelligent self-control. You have resources, but you don't know how to use them. And that freedom is the ability to use them in such a way you make most out of it. Don't destroy yourself, but make productive equipment out of you. That's a beautiful chapter. And then he gives several examples. And there's an amazing discussion. Basically, freedom is not licentiousness, he says. It's not what you want to do and do. No. It's the ability to use what you have correctly. Intelligent, self-restrained. That is Dhamma. And Shama also. Okay. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.